This is the exact blueprint on how to build a channel like the life outline. This channel is the fastest growing channel in the 2D animation niche and has made over $10,000 with 1 million views from 8 videos. And this is exactly how it was built. My name is Prosper. I break down successful channels and run my own branded channels. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you the exact blueprint on how to build a channel like this. So first things first, why is a channel like this successful? This is what you need to know before you get into a certain niche and follow or copy a certain type of channel. You need to know exactly why it's successful. And in this blueprint, the first thing that I've shown you here is their secret. So it's not about the crime. This channel covers crime, about certain cartels, certain organizations, organized crime. And the reason it's successful is not about the crime, because there's a bunch of channels about crime, but the reason this is successful is about the ladder. So they follow a ladder system, or rather a ranking system of how certain crime organizations are set up, so every level of a certain crime organization. So for example, they have a video here which is about POV. You are every rank in the, I guess, CGNG, that's a cartel. Some cartel in Mexico or in Colombia or something like that. I'm not familiar with the crimes, or I'm not familiar with the organizations, but that's basically how the videos are structured. It shows how it is to be every rank in that cartel. So how that would work is you would start at the beginning as I guess a janitor or whatever it may be, something like that, and then it would explain how your life would be in that scenario, how you got there, what you're doing there, and then from that point into the next, until you get to be the crime boss. So it basically goes through that. This is an advanced step, or this is the next step of the normal 2D animation niches that we've seen blown up, like the pain explainer, where they just explain something. This has taken that even to another level, explaining how it is. So the reason it works is the ranking format transforms passive viewers into obsessed binge watchers who can't stop clicking the next video. So when you see this, you want to know more. It creates this progression, like it's like a game. So in a game, you start off as one person, and then you start off you evolve or you improve into the next, until you become the best, amongst the players, or amongst depending on what game it is that you're playing, you become the best or the strongest character in the game. So it's a progression thing. And when a viewer wants to experience that, it's a psychological thing. That's why as people, we want to improve. That's probably why you're watching this video. You want to improve your understanding of YouTube. You want to grow your own branded YouTube channel, your own successful YouTube channel. It's you leveling up, and it's the same psychology that they trigger. So here exactly why it works explains what I just explained. Psychological level up loops trigger dopamine hits with every rank progression. Viewers become emotionally invested in watching characters ascend or fall through each tier. So it's the same thing. Like you as the viewer, you want to watch and you want to see, okay, this is what happens next. So what happens in this? What are the secrets in this? What is happening here? So it creates a very interesting, and it creates this loop in your mind that you want to know. If you've watched any of these videos, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I remember when I watched the first video when I was researching this channel, and I was hooked in the video. Like my initial idea was just to watch it for research purposes. I watched like the first minute and I was hooked on the video, and I watched the whole video. Like I paused my research just to finish the video. That's how interesting the videos are, because it keeps you hooked. So this format is a killer. Like if you can get into this format, then you've got a very good chance of being successful. So now you might be wondering, so how do you get into this format? How do you apply this psychological tricks into your own niche? And this is where we're getting into. So when we get into this, this is what I call the linear hierarchy hook. So this is just a fancy name for how the hook is created. As if you've seen this before, if you've watched my previous video, you know it's the same kind of hook. So basically how it works is you have the formula. This is the formula of how the title and how the structure of the title and the thumbnail is created. So for example, this was the latest video. I think they have a newer videos by now, because I created this a little bit about a week ago. So this is the formula that they use: your life as every rank in then the system. So this is how the title is set up. Instantly creates curiosity gap by promising the to map the viewer's journey through a structured progression. So the structured progression here would be the system. So it can be either something like good or something bad. So if it's good thing, maybe like the police or the government, if you view the government as good, depending on your own beliefs, or the CIA or the FBI or whatever, special forces, I guess that would be the good system. And then if it's a bad system, then I guess it's like the cartel or the mafia or whatever system, the yakuza, the triads, whatever system you wanna speak about in your videos. That's the formula you would create. So your life as every rank in the CIA, your life as every rank in blank blank, that you could have endless of them. That's how you would create this kind of system. That's the first part. The second part is the thumbnail. So the thumbnail counts as a hook. So a hook basically is what catches the viewer's attention and what gets them into the video. So the first few seconds of the video counts as the hook. That's why if you look at your YouTube analytics, you see that the first 30 seconds is highlighted differently from the rest of the video. That's because that first 30 seconds, that intro, is included as part of the hook. You should, when you are creating your intro, create it as if you are creating your thumbnail or your title. It counts as the same thing. So that's why it's very important. That's where some people mess up, and then they create the intro as just like the video has been playing. That's not how you should create it. The intro is still part of the hook. You're still getting the viewer into the video, but that's where most viewers bounce out and they churn. So it's very important to have a very strong hook, and that's also one thing that I mentioned here in the blueprint that they do really well, because they get into the video immediately as they start. So the visual hook here was obviously the thumbnail. You want the thumbnail to be high contrast. Like if you look at this thumbnail, like it looks very cinematic, very well edited. It's got a lot of detail. It's got one bold text here, harvester, in red. It's got the person here at the back. It's got the doctor here. It's got the other person here with the crossed eyes, meaning they dead. So it's like very engaging. And if you watch my previous video, basically I explained how people view videos. Like if you are new to a channel, what happens is, let me go to the initial page here. So what happens is the viewer sees the thumbnail. They see the thumbnail, they read the text on the thumbnail, and they just quickly analyze it for like a brief split second, a second or two. They see it, and then let's take this one for example. It says no way out, and then it shows I guess a very menacing guy with tattoos everywhere, and he looks like he does something crazy, he does something bad, maybe he's a thug or something, so it's like it looks very intense. And then the viewer sees that, they go down, then they read the title. The title here says, well, what it's like to be every Russian Bretrov rank. So I guess that's a Russian mafia kind of thing or something like that. So when they read that, I'm like, oh, okay. Then they go back and they analyze the picture again. They analyze the thumbnail rather. And once you analyze the thumbnail again, then you're gonna now process that and compare it to what you just read from the title. So if there's a mismatch, if they're not matching each other, then it's going to be a bit, it's gonna cause the viewer to be a bit confused, and then they might just scroll past your video, scroll past your thumbnail, and you've already lost. And it counts as an impression, but it's not gonna count as a click, which is gonna be bad signals for YouTube. So you need to be very intentional with the thumbnails that you create. And the second thing is, when they see it and they see, okay, there's some match. When they see it, obviously they can see, okay, this is, the guy's bald. It says no way out. so it looks very extreme, like there's no way out, like to once you're in kind of thing. So now it's gonna create that curiosity, and then when they see that, they're gonna be, oh, okay, interesting, and then they're gonna watch the video, or they're likely gonna click, and then from there the intro is gonna do the rest of the heavy lifting from that point onwards. So this is why it's very important to have a good thumbnail, a good title, and they match, but they shouldn't repeat what it's saying. You know, it shouldn't it should give clarity, but it shouldn't be repetitive of what the title is saying. So comparing the life outlines thumbnails, this is one of their newer thumbnails. It's a bit different style, but it's still a very strong thumbnail, and I'm not sure how well this video performed at the time of this recording, I guess at the time of the screenshot. It had 5,000 views in about 4 days, which isn't the best compared to some of their videos, but I'm sure it did pretty well and it did better. And usually the other thing is, if you see a certain format is working, don't be quick to change the format. So this wasn't necessarily the best thing they could have done. They could have stuck with this. I guess they wanted to try something different, and hopefully they went back to the winning format that they already found. Once you find a winning format, stick to it. Don't try changing it. YouTube is just about milking the same formats that you have. That's why you see channels doing the kind of the same thing all over, because that's what's working. So this is how to actually find niches and how to actually be successful here, because the niche is the foundation of your channel. If you build your channel on a weak foundation, which is terrible niches, then you're done. So this is the important thing. Currently, as we've spoken about, the current trending term is niche bending, which is just taking a format that's working from one channel into the next. So this is the same thing. Mr. Ranks was taken from the life outline. Chill guy POV or chill POV guy, the same thing. Say again, the POV format, master POV, same thing. All these channels, they are all successful because of one thing. They all took the same format, but they didn't copy directly. This is very important when it comes to taking niches from other channels, is that, or formats from other channels. This niche bending technique is, when you see something working, you see the ranking format, the POV format is working for the life outline, and he's talking about crime, he's talking about criminal organizations and the underground, the underworld, whatever. Don't take that and then make your channel about the exact same thing. You are pretty much going to be second best. There is no way you're going to be better than the life outline unless you do something insane with your videos, and that's very unlikely, especially with how channels that find this, most of the time they capitalize on it and they milk it as much as possible. So for anyone who is second best, they are not going to have the opportunity to overcome them. So this is the other thing with long form content that kind of separates it from short form. Short form, you kind of share the pie pretty much equally if you can break into it. If you can break into the barrel, you kind of share it. And then if it was 100 million views for this kind of format, Zach D Films, let's take for example, if he was getting 100 million views per short, if someone else gets in, they will now split that. Maybe that person gets in and now that person gets 20 million views. Zach D Films videos aren't going to suddenly still be at 100 million. They're gonna drop maybe to 90 or 80 million or 70 million, because it's the same kind of audience getting the same views. Shorts is different. When it comes to long form content, the views are still going to be pushed to the person who is the best or the person who is first. So you as second, you are going to get some views, but on the long run, you're going to suffer compared to the person who started. So when the niche eventually starts to die down, your channel is going to get to a point where if he was getting 100,000 views per video, you were getting maybe 10,000, or you're getting 20 or 30 in your peak, you know, or maybe you're even matching him. But at some point, you're going to start dropping off because people know his channel. His channel is more established. People watch long form content more when it comes to like, this is the creator that I know and that I trust more, so I'm gonna watch their content. But when it comes to short form, because you're scrolling and you're just passing through, you don't really care too much about who it is about. As long as the content is at a high quality level, it's still going to click. So that's the difference between short form and long form content, and why long form has still an advantage over short form is that the views are distributed in a way that helps someone who is established a little bit better than someone who's newer. New channels still get a boost, which is still works. Like if you have a new channel, there is still this new channel boost effect that really works. I'm not sure how strong it is right now, but like a few months ago it was really strong, and even about a year ago it was very powerful. I remember starting a channel like a year ago, and I had a sleep channel start I think in around October of last year, and it had like 70,000 views. Like first few videos was like 70k views, and on a sleep channel that's insane. Like 70,000 views on a sleep channel with RPMs of like $30 per thousand views is like absolutely insane. You know, you don't need that many views to make a lot of money. So it like got the new channel boost, but now it's doing way less views than that, simply because once you have built that channel, you're not gonna get the boost as much. So this is very important on when it comes to choosing a niche. This is why I'm really speaking about it, is that you have to make sure you don't copy. Don't just randomly steal what's working and then expect to be successful in the long run. Maybe you'll be successful when the niche is booming, but in a few months time you won't even get to a year. By 6 months, 3 months, your channel is gonna start dropping views. So you have to be very very particular with that. So for example, this one is Mr. Ranks. This talks about drop shipping. This talks about trading. This talks about, so this is smart. Mr. Ranks, shout out you, whoever created this channel, shout out to you. This is very smart. Like no one is gonna think about this. So what this guy probably saw is like he is interested in crypto, he's interested in trading, he's interested in this online make money kind of things, and he just took the format, niche bent that format into his niche of online trading, crypto, making money, and took that and blew up. Literally just blew up. He's got 11 videos, 7k views, and he's got some videos with 6 figures, over 100k views. So you know he's got 1, 2, 3 of the videos already very successful with 11 videos only. Very smart. You could do the same thing. So this is finance that I highlighted, so this would count as finance. But you could go into like maybe the financial workspace of like brokers or stock, you know, like that in-depth finance. I'm not very sure with that, but like firms and things like that, you know, you go into that and you rank that if that's what you're into, if that's something that you already have some expertise in. If it's something you know, then it makes it much easier. So for example, I run a channel in the motorsport niche, so I could rank every rank in motorsport. So from a go-karting, from a karting driver, let's say in your junior karter, and from there you go into cars. So you start racing open formulas like Formula 1, not Formula 1, I mean like Formula 4, Formula 3, Formula Regional, you know, that kind of level. Then from there you would then go into like Formula 2 or into Super Formula, or maybe you go into endurance racing, you go into that kind of thing. And then after Formula 2, then you get into Formula 1. Then from Formula 1, maybe you become a world champion. Then from world champion, then you become a multiple time world champion. That's how you'd, I guess, rank it, as every rank of racing drivers, something like that. Or you could do it for rallying as well, something like that. Or you could involve, like, there's so many ways you could do it based on what you know and you're passionate about it. As long as there's a good audience in that space. So obviously motorsport has a big audience, finance has even bigger audience. Like if you go into something that's always evergreen, like finance, relationships, health, wealth, you know, those kind of things will always have audience. It's just going to be the formats that change. Go into that and you make a lot of money and you get a lot of views. Just bring in the format that's working and it works. Same thing here. This is formats, I guess, for emergency services. So there is the firefighters, there's doctors, nurses, there's all this kind of things, police, man, there's even, you know, there's so many different things. So you could do that. Same here as well, different for like all these, I guess, partying, POV, or life as a, so you know, you could do it as a POV, you could do it as a rank, depend on the same thing. So POV, I guess you don't have to rank necessarily, and you can just kind of show how it is to be that kind of person living that kind of life. And then for ranking, you could then rank like where there's different stages to it. If there's no necessary stages, because there isn't a stage to like a university frat boy or whatever, you know, there isn't like stages to that necessarily. I'm not American, so I don't know how that whole system works, but I don't think there's like rankings. Maybe there is rankings of like the president and the vice president and all that kind of stuff, but like overall they aren't like, it's not as like a organization rank as it would be like with a corporate job or with like a organization like a crime organization like that. So you could look at that as POV, and then other ones you can look at as you could look at it as a ranking format, but it's essentially the same thing, just explaining how it is to be in that scenario, in that situation. So here I put for survival, I put for finance, and I put for tech. So the one I like the most here is survival. I like survival a lot. So beginner, prepared, seasoned, elite prepper, and a doomsday expert. So you don't necessarily have to do it like this. You can do it in a way where you are focused more on, let's say, certain scenarios that happened in the past. You could take that and you could analyze those. You could use AI to analyze. I can break it down for you guys more in depth if you want that as well. But you could take that and then you would explain like, oh, okay, so this is how certain people or certain organizations, certain groups of people prepared for war, and this is how they survived it. Or you could do it survival. It doesn't even have to be about people. It can be about animals, you know, the dinosaurs, how the dinosaurs died. POV, your life as a dinosaur during the extinction period or like before the extinction period, you know, and like kind of do the POV of that. And then you could do that, would work well and more as a POV rather than as a ranking, because you're focusing on like the specific thing. And then if you want to focus more on the ranking, then you do like how to prepare for the end of the world, something like that. And then you would walk through it. You can make it like a series, you know, a step by step. So like POV, your life as a beginner, whatever, doomsday, your life is preparing for the doomsday as a beginner, and then POV, your life preparing for the doomsday as a professional, or whatever, you know. If you're into that, you know exactly how to frame it and how to do it. So that's basically how you do it. And as you can see, all these 3 channels have basically taken the format, have been successful niche bands. This is why it's very it's very important to not steal, but to use the format into your own niche, and you'll be successful. And when you hear it from different creators, they might call it a different name. Some say niche bending, some say adaptation, some say it's a different thing, different way of saying it, but it's the same thing. It's just taking a format that's successful and using it in another niche. That's it. And a niche is usually comprised of the format itself and the topic. That's usually what a niche comprises. So technically you are creating a new niche, but the audience is the same as it would have been if you're talking about the same thing. It's just bringing in a new perspective and also bringing in new audience at the same time. People who would usually not be interested in that kind of thing, and then they would watch. So yeah, I've spent a lot of time on niche bending for a reason. For getting the niche is very important. And on to the next thing, which is actually creating the videos. So as usual, for creating videos, you need to have an AI system. That's a must. If you have a scripting framework is very simple. What you could do is you could simply take the successful videos from where we just took our niche bends, and take those formats. What you then do is create videos and create scripts similar to that. So let's say we are talking about survival, POV, surviving certain thing. You take from the other channel that did POV, you take that more successful video. Clearly something in the video was working. You take that successful video and you take that and ask any AI of your choice chatbot, whether you use Claude or Gemini or whatever, you just take that and you would tell the AI to create the video similar to this but about survival, and that's basically it. So you would tell it to do that and it will do that for you. So that's how you can do it. I'll leave a specific prompt so that you guys don't have to like think about it too much, and it just do everything for you. So like there's very in-depth details of why the scripts work, and you also need to understand that, so that when you create the script and you read it, you understand, okay, this script, is it good enough or not? And you can also correct the AI where maybe it might not have done what you wanted to do. But most AI tools are really good. If you want to remove all the hassles and all the questions, if you use a tool like Subscriber or you use a tool like TubeMagic, those two are the best at scripting. You can take that, your video topic, and the video you're using as a template. You just tell it to write the video about your topic, survival, POV, every rank as a survival or something like that, and it will just do everything for you. It already has good frameworks of how to do storytelling, how to hook and re-hook the viewer, all those stuff. It already has them, so you don't have to worry about that. And when it comes to visuals, you can use any AI tools as well. It's just about which one you have, which ones you have access to, which ones you think are the best for your own use case. But Gemini, Nano Banana Pro, or Midjourney, or a lot of them, they'll work for this. There are also ChatGPT apps that can work for this. I'll also leave them link below. Everything is gonna be left link in the description, so you can check it out and you can start the channel for yourself. And then the next thing is you need to know how to actually have these videos edited and how to have them, I guess, ranked. So here it says the rank by rank transition formula is 5 to 7 seconds before the next, and the dramatic music. This is basically like a more in-depth. You can go over it, how it would be created, but this is more of if you're into the editing yourself. So like having the video and the movement of like, there shouldn't be a clip that lasts more than 5 to 7 seconds, and this is the cut rate of like the visual. You want to keep the momentum high, the visual momentum. So when you show these images, and when you show the animations, whether you're doing images or animations, how you want to do it, you want it to be as quick as possible, and not super quick where it's like just a bunch of cuts, but within the 5 to 7 seconds. That's perfect. And yeah, that's basically how you would do the editing or the production of this video. This one isn't too complicated or isn't like too important that it's gonna be make or break it. The important things is what I've spoken about and what's coming next, which is also the how to actually have this done, how to have the system done. Like you might be wondering now, like, okay, you want to start this, where do I start? First thing is you want to get your niche. So here we spoke about survival. So let's say we talk about survival. Go to Chat GPT or whatever chatbot you want to use, and tell it to give you similar topics about survival. And then you can take a screenshot from this channel, or you can use the document that I have, this document that I've given you, how to then use this for a survival channel, a channel about survival. Then it's gonna simply give you the full framework. It's gonna give you the titles of the videos, the ideas of the videos, and then from there you can bring a successful video from the channel that you're modeling. You take that you're modeling, and then what you're gonna do is you're gonna have it scripted out for you. So you can have it scripted out for you. If you don't want to use that as a script, then you tell it to give you a prompt that you then use for TubeMagic. You go to TubeMagic, you write the prompt down, you take the reference video, and then you use that. Then it's gonna write the script for you. That's where you can start right now. Like as soon as you've watched this video, you can literally start by making your first video. That's how easy it is to start this. It's just you're gonna have to be consistent to get results like this. To get to $10,000 a month, to get 1 million views per month, you're gonna have to be consistent with it. It's not just gonna happen overnight. So that's basically the system of it. This 30-day system is how you would then grow the channel to a point where you're actually starting to profit from it. You're actually starting to see results and make money from it. So it's a process. Usually it's gonna take 15, 20 videos, 30 videos even, depending on your skill level. Sometimes you might hit it really well, get into a niche that's really good, that's really booming with the right format that you've taken here, and within your first 5 videos you could do really well, especially with the new channel boom. You can start off and have a successful channel early on. And monetization, when it comes to monetization, for example, this channel has $10,000 a month. You could sell products on how to, for example, if you go into a really good niche, into an educational niche, not just entertainment. If you go into educational, this is like for more advanced people. So if you're like very early on, maybe this might take a bit of time. This is the level you would want to get. But if you're already advanced, this is how you do it. So you would start a channel in an educational niche. So let's say something about health or wealth, or let's take a very easy example, ranking of how to be a successful YouTuber or a successful trader, something like that. And then you would rank them, or you would give the POV of them. And then you would build your channel like that. It might have less views overall as the channel, so you might make less from AdSense, but the amount that you can make, the potential to make a lot more from products is way higher. So then you would have products that you would sell. So like products of how to actually build this. So you could have this as this is like a secret trick that I would use myself. Like if none of you guys watching the videos use this secret, I'm going to use it myself. What you would then do is you would have this product of, let's say for example, you've built your own YouTube channel of like POV, how I built my YouTube channel to 1 million views. So you would start with POV as a beginner, and then POV as a intermediate, as a whatever, at 10,000 subscribers, 20, at 50, and 100,000, at 500,000, something like that. That whole process, you basically document it, but you do it in a way using this format, so it's like interesting and it brings new viewers to it. So you do it in an interesting format. So you're going to get, definitely you're gonna get decent amount of views, and you're gonna get people interested in, oh, how did you create this kind of content? How did you build the channel that was that successful? How did you do that? Then from there you can sell products. You can sell a course. It doesn't have to be a course. You can have a program, you can have coaching, you can have whatever you think is going to deliver the most value, because the important thing is to still deliver value from it. You don't just want to make content for the sake of it. You want to deliver the value. Then from that point, you're going to deliver the value to the viewers, and you can sell it at a decent amount. So here, if you sell it for $97, even if you're getting like in a month, you're getting 100,000 views. If you get 10% is even crazy. 10% would be 10,000. Let's say you get 10% people to click through to your offer, and then you get a total of 1% to, let's say, buy in. If you get 1%, which is 1,000 people, from $97, that's over 100,000. Like, that's how the math is. Even if you go even in depth, let's say from that 10,000 people who clicked, let's say only 1% of them, 1%, or let's not even say 1%, 0.1%, you're still above $10,000 in a month from this kind of system. So you can really build a lot if you think about it strategically. You get into an educational based niche and you grow it from there. You can make a lot. So in terms of finance, don't look at it from a financial perspective of you just want to build this for the sake of finance, but build it out as a system, as a business, so that in the long term that you're going to actually make money from it. So this is how you do it. And basically this is how, and this is the most important thing coming to the end of this video, is that you don't have to overthink. Just start building it. Start the format today. Start the ranking format today. Your first video can be up within the next day or two, like if you're really serious about this. And from that point onwards, you never know how this might scale. Like, all it takes is one video on YouTube. Like, one video can literally change it. So you need to be very trust the process, and you need to be very diligent with it. Make sure that what you're doing it to your best of your ability. Don't just do it to like half-ass it and like expect, you know, good results. You're not gonna get good results by just trying just a little bit. You're gonna have to really try, make this successful. And yeah, find an untapped hierarchy, use the niche bending prompt. I'll leave everything below, and the asset stack of just how to build the script, the voiceover using 11 Labs, and the character, the 2D drawn character. That's how you do it. It's very simple and very straightforward process. Just follow the process in the system and you'll be successful. If you're interested in more channels like this, I have another channel that I broke down recently. Check it out there. Or if you're not gonna do that, if you're not gonna check out that video right now, start building the channel. Don't stay on YouTube, don't watch, don't consume any more content. You don't need to be consuming any more content. You need to start building if you actually want to be successful with this. And I'll see you in the next one.